Are we live yet? Bum bum bum. Bum. I think we are. Let me make sure we're live. Test 1, 2, 3. Hmm. Is this muted? Okay, we are actually live. Let me look up something real quick. I want to see if what is going on. What is it called? Performance? No, focus. I really don't remember what it's called. Focus Esports, maybe? No, I don't remember what it's called. Holy crap. eFocus. That's right. eFocus Esports. Oh, they didn't upload anything today. Hold up. Oh, she didn't have any interviews. Unlucky. I was hoping she had something. But does 100T beat Hanwha Life? Yes, they do, actually. You are. You're here. I had just started. I haven't even like opened up all my assets. But how's it going, man? Have you been enjoying Worlds so far? I've been having a blast. Yo, Skin Bones, long time no see. Gang. Yeah, but I gotta talk about that T1 Gen G matchup because I've been thinking about this. I've been theory crafting. I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I have this like really strong feeling that T1 are gonna win. Tonight will decide. Yeah, I've had this very strong feeling that T1 are gonna win, and I wasn't really sure why. Would be crazy entertaining. World has been crazy entertaining this year. Yes, it really has. This has been like, I mean, maybe because I don't even know. Like I watched Worlds last year, but I am enjoying Worlds this year a lot more. If both our teams go 1 and 2, I will not be enjoying 100T and Fly. Ooh, yeah, that would be a little scary. And then you have 100T play against FlyQuest and then play against G2. Yeah, enjoy watching EU suffer. Honestly, a little bit. Normally, I don't. Normally I want EU to do well. I want both of us to make it out. Like, obviously, I want us to beat EU if we meet them, but like, I kind of don't want to see them get crushed. But this year, for some reason, I don't know. I feel like ever since KC did what KC did, which is like they won one best of 3 and made it to finals because of that. I'm not a T1 Glazer, but I think T1 is gonna 3-peat. I don't know about 3-peat. I don't know about 3-peat, but I'll actually get into like why. Um, uh, like I've been thinking about it. Doran has had an exceptional performance. When Doran is on, he wins championships. I want you to think about 2022. Doran was on Gen G, he won summer. Think about 2023. Doran was on Gen G, he won summer. Think about 2024. Doran was on Hanwha Life, he won summer. He's been 3 years in a row first seed, right? And he's like been a reason why they won those finals. A lot of those were against T1, and he was the reason. He was gapping Zeus, right? Obviously, Zeus isn't playing on Gen G. It's Keen. It's very different. But when Doran is playing well, he plays well. And like I've been begging for a Doran interview, man. I really want to interview this guy, but he's just elusive. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get interviews with T1 as a content creator. I have to see what I have to do for next year because just being a content creator and requesting doesn't work. I need to be someone else, like a part of a org or something. But like I was saying, T1 have Doran's playing well. Faker, like we saw his Casio game, he's not like the best player. He's not peak Faker yet, but he does scale up. Carrio's playing really well. I'm not the one. I got to see 100 Thieves beat BLG live. Oh no. I'm already proud of them, even if they get crushed from here. Not. I kind of agree, dude. What did 100 Thieves do to deserve this? They got BLG into top esports into Hanwha Life, but I will say I think they match up better into Hanwha Life than top esports. I said that earlier. I was like, I would much rather see them play Hanwha than top esports because top esports strengths are literally counteractive to 100 Thieves. They're just gonna crush them. Whereas with Hanwha Life, I think 100 Thieves are going to have at some point a 4K gold lead. Whether they throw or not, that's on them. But I do think they're going to get leads and they're going to be in a very solid position. Are you staying up for the games or sleeping and watching in the early hours? How many hours do I have? It starts at 4, right? Because it's only 4 games, so it starts at 4. So I have 7 hours to sleep. Oh, I'll sleep. I'll sleep a few hours and then probably sleep afterwards because it is the weekend. So I'll probably sleep beforehand. Um, or should I stay up? I have no idea. I haven't thought too far actually. Are you staying up? It is a weekend tomorrow, so yeah, I technically could. But like I was saying, my main factor of why I think T1 are gonna win is just owner. Like when you look at this guy, last year coming into the World Championship. Oh, someone's ringing the doorbell. Hold up, guys. Who is ringing and why? Oh, I know who it is. I gotta go let him in. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right back. Be right back, guys. And we're back. I didn't go anywhere. But yeah, when I interviewed Owner last year at Worlds, he mentioned how he like lacks self-confidence. And then when I look at him this World Championship, he is so full of confidence. Owner has been the best jungler on average in the past 3 years, since 2023. In 2023, you could argue Kanavi was the best jungler in the world. In 2024, you could argue Canyon was the best jungler in the world. 2025, you can argue Tarzan was the best jungler in the world. But every single year, Owner is top 3, if not even better. Especially at Worlds, this guy shows up. We saw him against the FlyQuest game. He really played very well. Man, I was running. I'm out of breath. T1 win? I agree, Shattered. I think Owner is like the unsung hero of T1 because when I look at Zeus and Doron, they've had their ups and they've had their downs. When I look at Guma, he's had his ups, he's had his downs to the point that he got benched. When I look at Kyria, he's had his metas and he had a time where like he was really bad. Faker as well, like there have been times where Faker wasn't playing well. But when you look at Owner, on average, he has always played well. He has always played well. Besides like 1 or 2 instances, like 2 games here, 1 game there, he's always played extremely phenomenal. He's always been a top 3 jungler in the world, which is very difficult to be consistent. And that's why I think he's like, in the past 3 years, I might just make a video of this. In the past 3 years, Owner has been the best jungler in the world. And I don't think there's an argument. Because Tarzan wasn't the best jungler in the world for the past 3 years. Kanavi had a really bad 2024. Even 2025, he was up and down. Same thing with, I mean, who else would you put in the top 3? The Tarzan, Kanavi, Canyon. Dude, Canyon on Genji, he's on the best team in the world for most of the year. And like, there are so many games where he's just, yeah, he's just like, meh. You don't see him. You don't notice him. He's covered up by the fact that he has Chovy and Keen in the side lanes, but you just don't notice him. Cloud, I love your content. Really digging the LCS report stuff. Awesome. Dude, that's so nice to hear. Like we're putting a lot of effort into the LCS report. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying it. Question: what the hell happened to Ashley Kang? I feel like she disappeared. So last year she was considering retiring. She was just like considering taking a break, retiring. She came back a little bit for First Stand this year, but she's been very, very on and off. She did a few interviews here and there, but I think she's kind of making her way out of doing interviews. I think she's like taking the next step in her career. If you don't know, like she started a podcast with Nuguri for a long time, like world champion Nuguri, right? She's I think she is like expanding. I think she was doing something with Yankos as well, like a podcast or something like that. So I think she's just taking her next steps in like what she wants to do. Because she's been doing Horizon Esports for a very long time, right? And I think she kind of, I don't know, maybe if she ran out of steam or she ran out of like, or she found something she's more passionate about. I've talked to her a little bit, but like not enough to know why or like if she's leaving for good, if she's not leaving, like what her plans are in the future. Maybe potentially I could ask, but yeah, I don't know. Um, Owner has been super underrated for all these years. Now he's getting his flowers. Feels good. I agree. Wait, how do I even say this name? Fiddle Royalanda, I guess. I think Ashley Kang is taking a break from covering right now. I thought she would be back at Worlds, especially since it's China. It's not too far from Korea, but I guess she's not. Maybe she comes in like during quarters and semis. Like you never really know, right? Shame though, she's been awesome. Yeah, I think she provided a big bridge. Like there are people like Fomos, for example, does Korean interviews. eFocus Esports does Korean interviews, but like no one translates them and actively titles and subtitles and pushes and starts all their videos in English for the Western fans. Like if you know, Ashley King has Ashley King, the YouTube channel, and Horizon Esports, the Korean side of it. And she's the only one that played both angles, whereas no one else did that. And I'm actually considering like, oh man, the book's over there. But like I'm considering next year really pushing my Korean content. But I think I want to get comfortable doing Korean interviews first. So we'll see. Did she say that? Yeah, you can look on her Twitter. Her private Twitter, Ashley Kang. She has two of them, but I think her like not private, but her like personal Twitter. I think she mentioned how like she's at the end of last year. She was saying, "Yeah, I think I might be taking a break. I really miss her stuff." Yeah, it has left a hole for sure. Especially since she knows a lot of the lore that other interviewers might not exactly like ask or know or even like think about or want to ask. Sorry, I'm at work, so I can't stay, but have a good night, man. Have a good night, Skinbones. Good luck at work today. When you have 3 winning lanes every game, you can go AFK in the jungle. Yeah, you can, but like that's not good practice, right? It's not just because you can play poorly and still win doesn't mean you should. I don't know. Okay, Shattered. I see your point. If your lanes are all winning, just be safe. Don't do anything, and you're gonna win the game. But it still feels like whenever there's any pressure, I guess there. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you're making a pretty good point, but I feel like I have more faith in someone who has to put in his best foot every single day than someone who kind of like doesn't need to do anything, so he kicks his feet up and chills for a little bit. If that makes sense. I prefer. I think you get more reps at being clutch. If that makes sense. And I think that's something that Owner has done a lot in his career is be clutch in these team fights, in the smites, in like the early ganks, in matching the jungler. One thing that Owner does very, very well is like matching his side laners, knowing and counter ganking. Like, how many times have we seen Faker on a side lane or like Zeus in the past on a side lane, and like 3 people collapse, and then all of a sudden Owner's there and Keria is there, right? The Keria plus Owner combination of like knowing where to be, especially when Keria is playing Bard, is actually really powerful. That's one thing that like FlyQuest really struggled with was like they were always there. Whether Keria was there to protect Keria and Owner were there to protect Gumayushi or protect Faker or protect Doran, like they were always playing together. And that's like a really strong jungle like support synergy that honestly I have to give credit to Mata. This they didn't necessarily have it this strong and this what's the word? Consistent. Yes. They didn't have this type of like consistency when it comes to their play as jungle support until Mata came in. And when Mata came in, like you could see a clear difference. Even when like obviously T1 finished 5th, 6th in the LCK Cup, like they also took the champions to 5 games. So is it really a 5th, 6th placement? Who knows? But even in Split 2, like a big part of their resurgence after the whole like Smash, Guma drama was like Owner and Keria absolutely finding ways to impact the map. And honestly, like if I'm T1, even if Doran leaves, even if Guma leaves and you replace him with Smash, even if Faker at some point retires, you keep these 2 players. Because they've developed something that like, first of all, I think Keria is just the best support in the world right now. And I think Owner, like I said, in the past 3 years has been the best jungler in the world on average. And that's not something you can say about any position. Maybe Chovy, you could say, has been the best jungler, best mid laner in the past 3 years. Could you say that? I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I think you could say that about Chovy. But you can't say that about top lane, like, because Zeus had some time where he was the best. Bin had some time. Keen had some time where he was the best. So you can't really say that about Keen. Keria, probably you could say that. I don't think there's anyone that's really, like, challenging. And then for AD carry, like, you have between Ruler, Viper, Guma has played like, I don't think Guma is in that conversation just because he has a lot of ups and downs. And we're talking about, like, average performance, right? I think Ruler has been a lot more consistent, although in 2024 and the beginning of 2025, he struggled a little bit. I actually asked Ruler about the beginning of 2025. He was like, yeah, I kind of was like really trying to build up my synergy with Duro, and that really like had a tall in my gameplay, and you can see it. But once Duro was like up to speed, man, this team. I mean, Ruler was back to being Ruler. Even Pace had like pretty good performances. So I think it's like, I mean, yeah, I think those two positions for T1 are like you just can't get rid of them. They're too good. They're too good. I think Guma also, when it comes to Worlds, for some reason, this guy just has so much swagger, man. Like T1 doesn't lose to the LPL teams, goes on to 3-0, 3-1, and 3-0 LPL teams in 2023. Like in BLG, he's like, oh, Faker at MSI was like, oh, CFO are gonna be a lot harder than BLG after just barely beating. Asher gets what did Asher do? What did Asher do? Why is my coach flaming my support? Is it because he made the wrong call? Did you see which call I was talking about, by the way, Luce? The one where I was like, "Oh, we should play around Dragon. It's Soul," and he was like, "No, we should play around Baron." And I was like, "No." Like normally I would just shut up because he's the shot caller, but I was just like, "This is bad. Just play around Dragon. It's so much safer, so much easier for us to control space. We had the vision." Eventually he agreed, so like I'm gonna give him some credit, but he also does have a girlfriend that I met. She's a very nice lady. So I don't know about that. But yeah, that's my reasoning for why T1 is going to inevitably beat Gen G, go 2-1, and then have to play. Well, they can't play CFO. They can play top esports. Ooh, that's a spicy matchup. I would like to see T1 versus top. I think they would crush top, to be honest. I have no faith in top esports right now. The other matchup that could happen, if Gen G are 1 and 2, who could they play? They could potentially play Fnatic. They could potentially play MKOI. They could potentially play VKS or PSG, which are pretty easy for Gen G. They could potentially play 100 Thieves. Dude, what is this draw? 100 Thieves go BLG, the first seed of China, into Top Esports, the third seed of China, into Hanwha Life, the second seed of Korea, into T1, or Gen G in the first seed. Do you think Fly gets smashed by CFO if they meet at 2-1? The North American fan in me says no. The analytical brain in me says I think they lose. I don't think they get smashed. Like I think they underperformed against T1, especially mainly Inspired. I thought Inspired played quite poorly. But I do think that FlyQuest, like, there's a Fomos did an interview with Bippo, and he said, like, yeah, the reason I picked Mordekaiser in game 2, or I guess yesterday, right, was because we didn't really want to show a lot of picks, and I have a lot of picks prepared. So I do have enough faith that FlyQuest can cook up in the 2-1 series a bunch of strategies that will throw CFO off their game plan. I think Gen G is just better than Inspired right now. I'm not very impressed with Inspired. I thought he played incredible all throughout this year. I thought at MSI he was better than Jinjia, but you're gonna stay up to watch the games. I'm not sure if I'm gonna nap beforehand because there's still what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours until the games. So I have some time. I'm not sure. I might sleep a little bit. I am a little tired. So, but it is Saturday, so I technically could stay up. But I think I'm probably gonna sleep at least for a little bit. I'm so nervous for Fly TSW. I don't know why, dude. They should win. I agree with you, Shattered. Like, if you think about it, TSW are like a better 100 Thieves. They play the same playstyle. They're a very hands diff kind of team. And the best team at the West with dealing some with like hands diff type of team are FlyQuest. They know how to not make mistakes. They know how to not get caught up in skirmishes. They know when to take their fights. They know how to set up their fights, and they know how to stop the bleeding. Even in game 1 in finals, in upper bracket finals, when 100 Thieves were like really far ahead, they had a Smolder who already hit 225. I think they were up three dragons to 1 or something like that. And FlyQuest are like, it's fine. We're just gonna play our game. We're down a few thousand gold, but we know how to play these compositions. We know what angles we want to take. So I'm actually like not really worried for FlyQuest, just because I think stylistically they match very well into TSW. And I think the same thing, like with 100 Thieves versus Hanwha Life. I think 100 Thieves are going to get like a 4K gold lead at some point in the game. Because stylistically, I think 100 Thieves play better into Hanwha than they did into top esports. So I'm not saying they're going to win, but it's up to them to not throw. And if they can just not throw, then hey, I think there's a good chance they can upset. What other matchups do we have? There's a top esports matchup. No, that's they already played. We have FlyQuest CFO. We have G2 is playing someone. BLG. Ooh, dude, what? Poor G2. 3 years in a row drawing BLG. 3 years in a row drawing BLG. Yeah, I don't see any. As long as Shadow's playing, I don't see any hope for G2. Like Caps would have to come up with like a Herculean performance. I think like Broken Blade would have to break his blade on Bin's back. I think Skewmond has not been it on the international stage. I know in summer he played very well. I don't think he's it. And then obviously you have Lebrov going out against On. I mean, as long as Lebrov plays normal and On plays normal, I definitely take On as long as he's on, not off. Yeah, it's a difficult matchup. Like pound for pound, it's difficult, and then macro wise, it's difficult, and then hands wise, it's difficult, and then team fight wise, it's difficult. Like I don't see much angle for G2. I would see more angle, honestly, for FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest could deal with what BLG have to offer better than G2. I think G2 might play a little bit better against Hanwha Life, to be honest. I think just stylistically, Hanwha Life will let them do more of what they want than BLG, if that makes sense. But anyways, I talked about T1. That's mainly what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to say why T1 are gonna beat Gen G, and then tomorrow, obviously, after the games, I'm either gonna be proven right or Martin is gonna make fun of me because he did say Gen G was gonna win. Also, one more point. Historically, T1 have only lost one game before quarterfinals. They already lost their game. They lost their one game against AL. So history doesn't predict the future, but it does show us patterns. And in the past 2 years, they went 3-1. I'm expecting them to go 3-1 again. But anyways, that's all I had for y'all. I'm gonna hit up Loose and we're gonna do a quick VOD review off stream because my support's